Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into some really beautiful ideas from the world of artist and author Charlie Mackesy. We're going to explore something we all know well, those personal storms we have to navigate in life, the tough times, the scary times. So let's get into it.
It's something we all go through, right? Worry, grief, fear. It can feel like you're all alone in a massive storm. But this explainer gets you thinking with a really simple question. What if the key isn't trying to be fearless all on your own, but just being together in it?
And this is just so important. It's this idea of total acceptance. It's a reminder that your worth isn't on the line just because you're struggling. It's like someone hands you a permission slip that just says it's okay to be human.
So what does this look like in the real world? Let's start right at the beginning. That moment you feel trouble brewing on the horizon. What happens inside you when the sky starts to get dark?
This is the big question for this first part. Take a second and really think about it. What's your honest-to-goodness first instinct? Do you tense up? Do you look for comfort? Or do you just pretend everything's okay? Let's see how the characters answer this one.
This gives us a kind of language for our own feelings. You've got the storm's voice, which just wants to create panic. Then the mole's instinct for kindness, the fox's need for control, the boy's habit of putting on a brave face, and then the horse's simple, powerful act of just breathing. Which one of those sounds the most like you?
Okay, this is such a brilliant way to flip the script. The storm's biggest weapon is making you feel like everything is an emergency. It screams at you, fix this, do it now. But what if the things that really matter, the most important things, don't work on that timeline at all?
And boom, the horse's wisdom just cuts right through all that noise. Panic makes demands. It's frantic. But love is just a steady presence. It's the difference between getting swept up in the chaos and finding an anchor to hold on to. So if just being there for each other is the answer, how do we actually do that? Well, that brings us to our second big idea, that connection is the real antidote to the loneliness that storms thrive on. This slide is so useful. On the left side, you've got real support. It's simple, it's patient, it's not judging you, it just makes room for you to be. But then on the right, that's what the characters call help that hurts. It's anxious, it's trying to fix you, and honestly, it can make you feel more like a project than a person. The real takeaway here is that true help is about presence, not pressure. It's such a painful thing, isn't it? The moment we need people the most is often the exact moment we push them away. This question really gets to the heart of that instinct to protect ourselves, even when it ends up isolating us. And here, the fox just gives us this gut-wrenchingly honest answer. If you've been hurt before, letting someone get close can feel really dangerous. So pushing them away becomes a way to stay in control, a way to avoid the pain of being abandoned again. It's a survival tactic that sadly can cut us off from the very thing we need. This leads us perfectly into our third section, because the storm isn't just something happening out there. It makes that harsh, critical voice inside our own heads so much louder. This is all about unmasking the lies we tell ourselves. Because the most dangerous thoughts are the ones that sneak in disguised as realism or the hard truth. Let's look at some of the most common ones. Just look at this list for a second. These are absolute knockout punches. The storm takes a feeling you have right now and tells you it's your permanent identity. It uses shame and fear of being left behind, and that awful feeling that things will never, ever change. Just recognizing these as lies is the first step to taking their power away. So, how do we fight back? This slide is like a secret weapon. Honesty is about clarity. It just describes what's happening, like, I'm feeling scared. But harshness is about punishment. It delivers a verdict, like, I'm a coward. And here's the key. Honesty leaves the door open for things to change, while harshness just slams it shut.
All right, so once we learn to separate ourselves from that harsh voice, what's next? Well, that brings us to a whole new way of thinking about what it means to be brave. It's not about big, heroic gestures. It's about small, gentle actions. I just love this question. It's so compassionate. It takes that old school superhero definition of courage and just tosses it out the window. Instead, it asks us to look for bravery in the moments we feel most vulnerable, most overwhelmed.
See? This makes courage feel so much more possible. Real bravery isn't about being fearless. It's about being brave enough to ask for help. It's admitting you're tired. It's choosing kindness when you want to shut down. It's just taking one more tiny step. That's the kind of courage we can all find. And this idea helps us keep going when things are tough. The horse tells us to trust principles, not predictions. See, a prediction like, this will be over soon, can fall apart and leave you feeling hopeless. But principles, those are actions you can actually control, right here, right now. Breathe, be kind, stick together. You can do those things no matter what the weather is like.
Okay, we're coming into our final section now. Let's bring it all together and talk about the wisdom we gain from walking through the storm, the lessons we can carry with us long after it's passed.
If you only take one single thing away today, please let it be this. A storm shows where you're under pressure. It says nothing about your value as a person. Your worth is a constant. It's there whether the sun is shining or the wind is howling.
And this right here makes all that wisdom practical. This is how you live it. You practice kindness when things are easy. So it becomes a reflex when things are hard. You learn how to come back to connection. You use what you've learned to be a safe place for someone else. And maybe the hardest one of all, you get quicker at forgiving yourself for not being perfect. And this is the perfect way to sum it all up. The fear, the panic, that cruel inner critic, man, they are loud. They demand all of your attention. But they are not the only voices. There's another voice in there, the voice of kindness, of love, of quiet courage. It's always there, just waiting for us to listen.
And so, I'll leave you with this gentle question. After everything we've talked about, what is one small, real thing you can do to be kind to yourself today? Because as we've learned, those little things, that's what real courage looks like. Thanks so much for joining me.